Hello, good afternoon everybody. Welcome to the video. My name is Michelle Wills and this video will probably be entitled Part 3B, and it's basically a continuation of the third video, which obviously will be entitled Part A, 3A, and it concerns the issue of both these, according to Channel 4 television, the new landlords from Hell, Sanctuary Housing and Devon and Cornwall Police, and the issue of drug dealing. So in Part A, I described the situation and from when a drug dealer, who we'll call Tom, moved to Charlton House, up until the time that Tom was found guilty in June of 2023 by a jury at Exeter Crown Court of intent to supply Class A drugs, and in November of 2023 was sentenced to 3 years imprisonment. So we'll take it from there. So following his imprisonment, Tom the drug dealer's imprisonment, life settled down in general. One or two disturbances. That happens. Drink, arguments, it happens. You've got to accept it. It happens in life, And then we move forward to September 2024. And it was, I believe, in the middle of September. So let's say the 15th of September. Again, that's could be a day or two out, whatever it is. And I'm out going to the bin store at around 10 to 7 one evening. And where the bin store at Charlton House is located, it's next to Eastcliff Road. So when you open the door to the bin store, the door opens, the wooden door opens outwards, and when it's completely open, the door is on the pathway of Eastcliff Road. So I empty some rubbish, and when I come out from the bin store and close the door, I turn around and I notice a car about 10, no more than, I was going to say 10 feet, probably, yeah, but we'll say 10 feet away. I notice a car and two gentlemen stood in the car. I nearly collapsed when realising that sat in the passenger side of the car was none other than our friend Tom, the drug dealer. So I approached the vehicle. The driver, I didn't know who he was. He's not relevant to the story. And Tom were eating a pizza, believe it or not, in the car. I went over to the car. Tom rolled down the window and had a brief conversation, and he explained that he'd been let out a couple of weeks ago under the wonderful, fantastic government's early release scheme, because the prisons were full. So he served 10 months of a 3-year prison sentence. Good, isn't it? Yeah. And he had returned to Charlton House. Now, before he went to prison, I'm going to say a year before he went to prison, he became friendly. I don't know how friendly. By that, I mean, I don't know whether they were in a relationship or not. or were just friends, I don't know. But he became friendly with a woman I'm going to call Alice. Now, Alice was the sole occupant of a flat on the top floor, on the fourth floor, in my block at Charlton House, where Tom was on the third floor. And Tom had a dog, and I know Alice would often walk the dog. I also knew that Alice was addicted to alcohol and was also a drug user. I know that she told me herself. And I don't think, to be quite honest, I don't think when you're talking to somebody, and I surely wouldn't, would openly admit that you use drugs, you're a heroin user, and you're an alcoholic. You know, several conversations I had with her, she seemed a nice girl, did Alice. But of course, when she became drunk, she became abusive, and she would cause problems at Charlton House, both inside and outside the building, in the external communal areas, the car park area, around the area, shouting and swearing, and because of the substance abuse. So what had happened is that Tom had been released from prison beginning of September, having served 10 months, and he was now lodging with Alice. So just try and picture this. You've got a guy who sometime prior to 2008 is evicted from Charlton House, who is a tenant at Charlton House, and is evicted from Charlton House because of either non-payment of rent, so rent arrears, so Section 8 of the Housing Act, eviction of 8 weeks or more arrears, or, as the neighbours told me, drug dealing activities, or both, who is then allowed back for a second tenancy after being the lodger of Jessica, his girlfriend, who then has to give up his flat, which he took over following Jessica's death. He was given a tenancy too, so that's 2 tenancies Sanctuary gave him. He's allowed to take over the tenancy. He has to give it up, obviously being sent to prison for 3 years. So then he leaves Charlton House, and now he's back for a third time, albeit staying with Annie. I think I said, I may have said mistakenly called Annie Alice earlier on, but this woman in this separate flat on the top floor I'm referring to is Annie. So he's then lodging with Annie, and it's not long when you see some familiar faces coming around. Not so many, just 1 or 2 faces of people you know who were around prior to his imprisonment, who are drug addicts. Indeed, Annie is a drug addict. So I cannot get my head around. Maybe I'm missing something. You got a convicted drug dealer sentenced to 3 years imprisonment, and he's allowed to come back to the scene of his crimes, Charlton House, and lodge with a known drug user, a current drug user, and an alcoholic. You just couldn't make it up, could you? And don't forget, being released after 10 months of a 3-year prison sentence. The remainder of that time he's on probation. Indeed, when I spoke to him in the car briefly, eating the pizza in September last year, he said he couldn't stop. He had to get back to Annie's flat because he had an electronic tag and he had a curfew. And he showed me the tag on his ankle. It's good, isn't it? It's good. So then we come to the next few months. We come to September, October, November. I'm kicking up merry hell. Why the hell is he here? Why the hell 3 women have died? No one seems to get interested in anything, and he's allowed to return yet again and resume his activities. Absolutely shocking, unbelievable. You couldn't make it up. And so Christmas comes and goes, the New Year comes and goes, and in the middle of January, I go away for a couple of weeks. I go to stay with some friends for a couple of weeks. When I return, the end of January, beginning of February, after being away, I notice someone had sprayed graffiti on a communal external wall which had recently been painted. And there was a neighbour there, and I got talking to the neighbour. He told me we couldn't read what it said, but Tom's not real name, of course. Tom, the drug dealer's name, was mentioned. It said, the actual graffiti said, I remember, it said, Tom, not real name, me, M-I, mum, is dying. That's what the graffiti said. So I was talking to this neighbour, and he then come up with something out of the blue, which I didn't have a clue what he was talking about. He said, oh, the funeral is today. And I said, whose funeral? He said, Annie's. I said, Annie? I said, she's dead. Yes, she's dead. This was beginning of February this year, 2025. And what happened was, I'm not sure of a time scale, and what I mean by that is day or night, but at some point, Annie and her friend / boyfriend, Tom, the drug dealer, went to bed. Sometime later, Tom awoke, don't know whether it was day or night, I haven't got a clue, and Annie was assumingly asleep. When Tom went to wake Anne, no response. Anne was dead. She was aged about 40 years old. A known drug user, a known alcoholic, a 40-year-old woman. We now have the situation where 4 women are dead. Jessica, the original occupant of a flat, who let her boyfriend Tom, the drug dealer, stay, dead. Julie, who was living as the lodger of the drug dealer, committed suicide, dead. Alice, the crawler care assistant, who was evicted through no fault of her own, who fell off a cliff, smashed her head to smithereens on rocks on Dawlish Beach, dead. We now have Annie, dead. Again, the connection, all customers of Tom. for a drug dealer. 4 women are dead. And I can remember speaking to a solicitor during one of the... I've actually sued Sanctuary. Well, this is what's going on now, is the 4th occasion, and there'll probably be many more. By the way, I've always been successful. Never lost a case. And I can remember saying to the solicitor, I believe it was beginning of 2015, Naheem Sharma was her name. I always remember the name, Naheem Sharma. I'm not sure, I can't remember whether she was independent or she worked for Sanctuary's leaky department. I'm not sure. But I can remember in an email I said to her, how many more people have to die before Sanctuary do something about the illegal drug dealing activities? I sent it in an email. Pity I haven't got that to hand. But yeah, I can remember sending that to her. How many people will die? Well, the answer so far is 3. Obviously, 1 had already died when I sent her that. It's 3 and counting. So, following the death in January of this year of Annie, what happened to her flat? It's absolutely astonishing. It's despicable. In February of 2025, the convicted drug dealer, Tom, who I believe is responsible, or partly responsible, for the deaths of 4 women, who has twice been evicted from as a tenant at Charlton House, is allowed to take over the outright tenancy of Annie's house. So now we're in a situation where Tom is now on his 3rd tenancy at Charlton House today, as I speak, on Wednesday the 8th of October 2025. You couldn't make it up, could you? Drug dealing's going on. There are people coming here. There's one particular guy. I haven't got a clue who he is. He comes here. Was it on Monday or Tuesday this week? Because obviously he comes at various times. He came around 9:30 in the morning. He comes on his motorbike. It's quite a noisy motorbike, so you know who it is. I looked out the window and I actually videoed it and sent it to the housing officer. He goes into the block of flats and he leaves within 2 minutes. Yeah. So I filmed him on Monday or Tuesday this week, and the whole film of him arriving, getting off his motorbike, walking to the main entrance, communal main entrance door, going to whatever flat, coming out of a flat, going back to his motorbike and driving off. I videoed all of that, and the video lasted for 3 minutes and 17 seconds. That is happening, at least to my knowledge, 4 or 5 times every single week. At least. I witnessed it myself. It's good, isn't it? So, I think I'm quite right, and it's quite just and quite appropriate to call this video Sanctuary Housing. You have blood on your hands. 4 women are dead. And you have the audacity to allow the drug dealer connected to all 4 women. You have the audacity. Don't forget, in addition to 4 women dead, you've got the assault, where he beats his girlfriend Julie to a Pope. You've got that assault as well. You've also got, I can remember back along many years ago, probably 10 years ago, a group of around 20 youths, I would say, came around the area, and they were shouting. And they were shouting for Tom, the drug dealer. Come out, Tom. Obviously that's not his real name, as I keep saying. Come out, Tom, show your face. You don't hit women. And what transpired, what I believe happened, was they come round to seek vengeance because Tom had beaten up Alice, the woman who fell off a cliff. At some point had beaten her up. I can only imagine it was probably over a drug debt or something. He had beaten her up. So there you have it. And sanctuary housing, these slum landlords, the landlords from hell, according to Channel 4 television, they most certainly have blood on their hands. And I can promise them I'll do whatever it takes. I will never rest until the people at Sanctuary are held accountable for the deaths of these 4 women and the many ruined lives that they have allowed on their watch. 3 times this guy, this drug dealer, was convicted. Don't forget, he was convicted 3 years imprisonment. This drug dealer was allowed to get away with it. I will never ever rest. That's my promise to Sanctuary until I get justice for these poor 4 women and many others who've been harmed by these illegal activities of this horrible man. So thank you very much for watching what will be part 3B of this video, and again please feel free to leave your comments in the comment sections down below, and again thank you very much for watching this video.